Hi, and welcome back to Roulette's Play Higurashi When They Cry. Mi-chan, good morning. Coming up to the next rendezvous point, we saw another person waiting for us. Noticing us, she waved. Ah, finally, you two are late! I don't know why she gets that rough voice, but hopefully she ends up being a tomboy. I went with ponytail. I don't know. Don't judge me. Usually, you're the one who's late. In sharp contrast to the diligent Reina, this one marched to the beat of her own drum. She's Mion Sonozaki. For what it's worth, she's our senior and head of the class. Morning, Reina. It's been a while, Kei-chan. Kei-chan. How many years? I was only off 2 days. You don't say. You were so much cuter back then. Mion's gaze stared at my chest and dropped straight down, focusing on the point between my legs. So she was saying it was my crotch that was cuter back then. You know, the most important part of any physical appearance is how cute is their crotch area. I know it's the first thing that I judge when I'm going to pick a mate. Before you ask, just to be clear, I've never actually tried to show. Thank you for that, Keiichi. We were all wondering. I'm glad that you have just, cleared the air, so to speak. I've grown quite splendidly. You'd be surprised. Not only is he bigger, but he has a little mustache now. Being so engorged with energy every morning is quite a problem, though. I'll introduce you next time, so be sure to greet him properly. Wow! This escalated quickly, I'm just saying. Don't say next time. Right now it's just fine. How about letting little guy get a breath of fresh morning air? I was not expecting this. I don't think I've ever heard talk so dirty before you could smell it fouling up the morning air before. Mion sure does act like an old man sometimes. I guess I got the best voice for her then. Gotcha. Time for the big reveal. Hope you don't regret it. As my hand reached for my fly, Reina began to ramble in near panic. Hey, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Red-faced and flustered, Reina tried to play dumb, but it was obvious she knew exactly what we were talking about. My penis. There you go, in case anyone was confused. How was it? Seeing the city again. Mion switched gears, dropping the dirty talk and changed the topic to something more befitting of a pleasant morning. I only went for a funeral. I didn't really have much time. So yeah, did you look for it? That thing I asked for? You're not listening at all. I just came back from a funeral. I didn't have any time to look around in toy stores. Toy stores and hobby shops are completely different, It's really difficult to get Western stuff around here after all. Is this about games again, Mi-chan? Mion nodded proudly as Reina giggled. Yep, I wanted Kei-chan to bring me back a Westport catalog, you see. Westport was short for Western Imported Games. Using that abbreviation did make it sound pretty geeky. You can just get them to send you one in the mail, can't you? Well, guess I have to now. I'm gonna get another game full of hot action. This time, I'd like a game that's easy to understand. Mion is a board and card game enthusiast, and I heard she collected quite a lot of different ones. According to Reina, Mion's room has become a museum for domestic and foreign games. If there's a game you think I'd understand, let me play too. Of course! If Kei-chan is up for it, I'll warn you though, we're pretty tough. Just what I want. I play all sorts of games. I don't intend to lose. It's hard to tell who's talking at any given time. Whoa, Well, then we'll let you in the group this time, I guess. Bristling with joy from head to toe, Reina looked back and forth between me and Mion. Mion gave an affirmative wink and her expression perked up even further. I thought boys preferred playing outside more, so I figured you wouldn't want to. Reina laughed happily. From such a friendly conversation, you wouldn't think I had moved here less than a month ago. I understood they did all that they could to make a transfer student like me feel at home. I'll have to try harder to fit in so they won't feel like they have to try to make me feel welcome. I feel I acted a bit more openly than I usually am. It should be right for this place. Are we ever gonna get to, like, the school? Hey! Hinamizawa was a really small village. Not only was there only one school, there was only one class. That class encompassed all different grades and ages. There are about 30 students at different levels, and they all study in the same class. I'm told that long ago there used to be a bigger school building and they had actual separate classes. Oh my god, they were pimping back then. However, it seemed something happened that made it into a single class, and now it just kind of stayed that way out of tradition. And budget cuts. I was shocked at first, but humans adapt pretty quickly. I've already gotten quite used to it. The sound of children playing started right from the morning. With such a lively mood, it felt more like a kindergarten than a proper school. Not that that was a bad thing. Besides, there were actually kindergartners in the class. Mion, who had been walking in front of us up until then, suddenly let me take the lead, right in front of the classroom door. So I was meant to slide the door open and enter the room first. Too bad I wasn't gonna fall for that again. To think you'd give up the lead here. You meant for this to be a test of my skills. Mion chuckled with a haughty smirk on her face. What is it, you guys? Step back, Reina. It's dangerous. She's here. Huh? Then Satoko-chan is... I couldn't tell that it was Mion talking. Damn it. Her name was Satoko Fujo. She was disrespectful, impudent, bossy kid. Satoko Fujo. The way she talks was annoying, but it would be immature to get worked up over something just like that. And after all, we're like 12, and that's when maturity really kicks in. The real problem was this. Quite the obvious trap. A blackboard eraser wedged in the door. It's too obvious, Satoko. A haughty laugh came from beyond the door. I imagine it's one of those, you know, once they do sometimes in anime. Excellent, Kei-chan. That means did you win this round? No, this is Satoko we're talking about. I doubt this is it. After falling for such intricate traps since the day I transferred, I no longer let my guard down. Satoko liked to combine a variety of traps. Traps that were simply there to bait you into the main one. Traps that relentlessly kept coming at you like a sadistic Rube Goldberg machine. The list goes on. As well as being clever, they almost never misfire. When you least expect it, she strikes like a viper from the bush. No escape, no time to relax. By the looks of it, this eraser is normal. No rocks or anything in it. I took a pretty heavy hit from the blackboard eraser loaded with rocks on my first day. So then why don't you just open the door and let it drop? That's what it is. That's what Satoko was after, making me focus my attention upwards. So as I lifted my hand to the door, there were thumbtacks stuck to the sliding door handle with tape. A frightening trap. A potent and terrifying trap, concealed by using the blackboard eraser, like a fucking ninja. An impressive combination, Satoko. But in the end, nothing more than the trivial machinations of a child. Assured in my victory, I threw the door open and stepped into the room, right into a trap. It was probably a bucket or something. Oh, nope. Tripwire. Felt something strange at my ankle. It was a similar sensation of a jump rope catching on my leg. By the time I realized she had me hook, line, and sinker, it was already too late. I began to fall in an almost picturesque manner, which absolutely has no pictures in the background. This is like the only time there's no background at all. K-Champ, watch out! Instinctively reacting to Mion's shrill warning, I twisted my body in midair before I landed on the floor. Ow, ow, ow! An inkstone filled to the brim was placed right where I would have landed. I shuddered, imagining the situation had I landed square on it. My, what do we have here? A fair morning to you, K-chan. Aren't we a lively one this morning? Still sprawled in an awkward position, I was greeted by a mocking voice. That was a step up from your usual trap, Satoko. I haven't the faintest idea what you mean. You're quite unlucky this morning. You little... Ow, ow, ow. It seems I'd inadvertently sprained my back a little when I landed. How old are you? Better than landing on that inkstone. I wish I knew what an inkstone was. A small hand gently rubbed my head. Pain, go away. Come back on some other day? The small, dainty hand continued to gently stroke my head. You didn't sprain your back or anything, did you? If you rub it like this, the pain disappears. I thought about asking how rubbing my head would help my back, but it didn't. It's not so much about what you actually do, it's the thought that counts. Yeah, thanks, Rika-chan. The pain's going away now. Totally not going away at all. Yay! Rika-chan, good morning! Good morning to you, Reina. A good morning to all. Rika-chan greeted each of us with an adorable little bow. It was infectious. Rina, Mion, and I all bowed back. You're such a good kid, Rika-chan. So much better than Satoko. I glared over at her direction. Satoko was whistling while rather deliberately trying to avoid eye contact. I am the very model of a good girl. A good girl wouldn't set those nasty traps. Nothing but lies and slander. Exactly what proof? I picked up Satoko by the back of her collar. She looked like a misbehaved cat when I did this. But a cat wouldn't be setting traps. Oh, no. You clearly do not have a cat. Cats do set traps. They fucking wait right outside a door that you have closed, and when you open it, you immediately trip on them. They knock over glasses. Cats absolutely set traps. She's much harder to deal with. You again. I've never lived with a cat then. I-M-S-O-R-R-Y. Just try saying that. If you won't say it, I cocked my index finger on my thumb, letting it tremble as I brought it closer to Satoko's forehead. I'm against violence! You don't even have any proof! Just so you know, my forehead flick really hurts. It can split plywood right in half. Oh man, plywood. That's like the hardest of the woods. Stop! Get away from me, you beast! Don't say that in a way people will misunderstand. A small hand tugged on the back of my shirt. She's been lonely since you were gone for 2 days. Rika-chan really is just so... How could I do anything more after being told that? I gently released my grip on Satoko, who at this point was on the verge of tears. She still had her eyes clamped shut as she braced herself for the forehead flick. It wasn't that bad a flick, I'm sure. It doesn't bother me. Sorry, I'm trying. You mustn't cry, Satoko. Keep on fighting. Gamburuwa. Rika gently petted the head of her prankster friend. You would never guess these two are the same age. I think Satoko could learn a thing or a million from Rika-chan. So it's a very small list of the things that she could learn from her classmate. Next time, set an even more amazing trap. Wait a minute. As she observed the scene, Rina expression grew ecstatic as she began to swoon. Oh, Sadoko-chan is crying. So cute. You can't take him home. Oh, but they're so cute. You can't, no matter how cute they are. But just for a bit, it's fine. It's fine, right? Rena kept a cutesy face even as outrageous ideas spewed from her mouth. According to Mion, Rena is ridiculously weak to cute things and always tries to take them home, object or person. Stealing is bad, but abducting people is even worse. Give it up. Then I can just looking. That should be fine, right? Right? Clearly, you've never heard of a stalker. Rena swooned over Satoko's crying form. If a girl ever goes missing in Hinamizawa, I'll be forced to turn Rena into the authorities. Forgive me, Rena. I'll be sure to bring you care packages when they put you away, and some conjugal visits, you know what I'm saying? Teacher's coming. Quickly, clean everything up. Satoko, that inkstone is yours, right? Just from Mion's single statement, the entire mood of the room shifted back to normal. The inkstone was bad, but the thumbtack stuck to the door handle, that was an even bigger problem. I pulled the tape off carefully, making sure not to skewer myself. Even though Satoko was the one who set it up, everyone had to pick up after her. By the time the teacher entered the room, the bedlam from before had been neatly tidied up. We made it just in time. Rise! Attention! Mion gave out the morning commands. Bow? No bow? Supposed to be a bow. And then sit. It's difficult being the teacher for all these different grades in one classroom. She has to teach something different to each one. But naturally, she ends up spending all her time with the younger kids. Rena and Mion, being in the highest grade in the class, end up mostly doing self-study. They even end up teaching the younger kids, so it seems they can never get to their own studies. They're actually way behind where my studies have progressed to. As a result, I'm pretty much taking over for the teacher and helping Rena and Mion with their studies. You're a pretty good teacher, Keiichi-kun. Easy to understand. Rena took a breather after finishing highlighting an important section. Teaching is making me lose confidence. It makes me aware of how shallow my understanding of the subject is. They say to teach someone something, you need to understand it backwards and forwards. So while you're teaching us, you're getting in your own practice. In contrast, this person over here is quite laissez-faire about things. For one, isn't she supposed to be in a higher grade than me? Look, Mion, this is for your own good. If you don't take this seriously, there'll be trouble later on. With these marks. It's not like I'm aiming to go to a prestigious school. I'll be fine as long as I pick up what I need to know for the entrance exams a little at a time. Her staunch defiance was really something else. This was a different type of relax than somebody who already knew what was going to be on the entrance exams. Mi-chan, Keiichi-kun is doing his best to teach us. We need to try hard too. You're such a good and honest kid, Rena. I'll make sure you guys get accepted in a good school. Thank you so much. Especially you, Rena. Private lessons, just the two of us.
Private lessons?
A puff of smoke shaped like a halo popped out of Rena's head. Okay, I think you should see a doctor. Exactly what kind of private lessons was she fantasizing about that made her turn so red? I'd like to hear the play-by-play about that next time. While Mion was flipping through her vocabulary flashcard, she threw out a casual question. So, in the city, do you have to study this much? If you don't know at least this much, you can't get into university. So, you study just to get into a university? Well, yeah, basically. While knowing that this stuff won't ever come in handy in the future. Yeah, that sounds about right. Out here, you can get into university as long as your attendance is good enough. Really? Study equals entrance exams. Having that basic law of the universe so easily overturned sent me into a state of shock.
Yeah, that's right. There aren't really enough people around here to warrant weeding them out with an exam.
If anyone can get into a university, then there's no need to be all uptight about this stuff, right? Well, that's true, but you should at least know stuff that's common knowledge. 2 + 2 = 4. This old geezer thinks that, instead of wasting time studying pointlessly, you should be spending your precious teen years doing more meaningful things. With her, it's probably trying to get laid in, the girls' bathroom. It was too profound a statement to simply laugh off, but since it was Mion, it probably didn't actually have that deep a meaning. Aw, he called you shallow. In place of a chime, the sound of the principal waving a handbell drifted through the classroom.
Kei-chan, we're done!
We're done! It's our wonderful lunchtime! In a complete 180 from her unmotivated state, Mion gave the commands that signaled the end of morning period.
Keiichi-kun, let's have lunch.
I might have been making a very troubled face. Lena smiled brightly at me. All right, let's eat. No idea which person was talking at the end there. There seemed to be different cliques, even within that one class. Most of them were divided up by gender and age, but our group was different. Our ages were different, and we had both boys and girls, but we weren't reserved around each other. This level of openness makes a transfer student like me pretty happy. Reina and Mion pushed their desks together so they were facing each other. At the same time, Satoko and Rika-chan were slowly lugging their desks over as well.
Keiichi-kun, hurry, hurry!
Reina waved her chopsticks in an unrefined manner, trying to hurry me along. Unless everyone was together, they wouldn't even open their lunchboxes. Aw, that's nice.
Keiichi-san's lunchbox is most assuredly filled with nothing but bread crust, like some sort of destitute plebeian. Why don't you just show it to us? Come on now.
Even though Satoko was hurling insults at me, she still wouldn't open the lid to her lunchbox until I was there. I pulled out my lunchbox swiftly and dragged my chair over to join the circle. Hey, sorry to keep you waiting.
Well then, Representative Me, please give the signal to start.
At first, it was kind of embarrassing, but I got used to it pretty fast. At this point, I probably wouldn't even open my own lunchbox if someone else was too slow. Our ages and genders might have all been different, but we were all friends. That's so saccharine sweet.
Let's eat!
The sound of our 5-part chorus echoed beautifully throughout the classroom.
Itadakimasu!
Really though, I'd gotten pretty used to this group made up of all girls. Of course, there are other boys in the class, but they were a lot younger, so they were scared to approach me. Well, that's to be expected. I am pretty fucking intimidating and manly. Younger boys just see older boys as scary. Compared to girls, well, at least these girls aren't picky, as is obvious by the fact they hit on you. We put all the side dishes in the middle where everyone was free to pick at them. I thought girls would mind sharing a meal with a guy, so I was a bit flustered joining in. However, Mion noticed that and teased me quite a bit. As the fruit of my efforts, I can now reach over and take sides from anybody's lunch.
My, isn't Sir Keiichi's lunch extravagant today?
My, isn't Madame Satoku's lunch extravagant as well? The stewed stuff has a nice look to it, rather trendy. Buying into the fight that Satoku was starting, our chopsticks locked in a cross-counter, stabbing into each other's lunch.
My, how delicious!
Oh, this Taro is good. The stewed stuff is good too, even cold. After seeing my happy face, Rika-chan's expression broke into a little smile.
I saved some from dinner last night.
By the way, Satoko and Rika-chan's lunches are always the same. It seems that Rika-chan makes it for both of them every day. Rika-chan made this too? These taste like mom's home cooking. I was honestly impressed. The carrot rosettes weren't from a mold, they were done by hand with a knife. Those are fucking hard. That is impressive as fuck. That's not easy to do. See, yeah, not easy to do at all. I guess Rika-chan's just good at this sort of thing.
She's really good at sewing, laundry, and stuff like that. Amazing, right? Amazing.
Reina is just so easily impressed.
Rika is quite exceptional in many ways.
That's nothing for you to boast about.
Reina's actually better at cooking than I am. Huh? Well, you know...
It seemed that the topic of conversation switched to Reina when she wasn't expecting it, making her blush and trip over her words. Reina's lunch really was the star of the table. Not only did it look good, it tasted good. Everyone else pulled for Reina's lunchbox constantly.
Everyone liked this one so much before, so I made a lot this time. It's good, I hope.
It got higher marks from me. Ah, Mion, you're taking too much! Knocking Mion's chopsticks aside, I reached out, trying to secure my own portion. Sotoko and Ika-chan reached over at the same time, and a struggle ensued. Everyone shoveled in mouthful after mouthful while praising it, and Reina's lunchbox was soon empty. It was kind of bad that no one thought to leave any for Reina, but Reina seemed rather satisfied as she looked on. Poor Reina, she's losing weight all the time.
How did you like it? Isn't Reina-san an extremely good cook too? Quite different from Keiichi-san.
I said that's nothing for you to boast about. You're not much different from Kei-chan, Sotoko. Can you tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower yet? Sotoko's face went pale. Hey, even I can tell the difference between broccoli and cauliflower, you know.
Of course I can! I really can!
It's really hard for her to lie.
Keiichi-kun, both taste good when they're boiled and topped with mayo, right? You shouldn't be picking on her. Mi-chan too!
Oh, mayonnaise on top of it. Reina hurriedly tried to follow up, but Mion laughed haughtily as she drew closer to Sotoko.
Well, just pretend it's a little home ec session. Now then, Sotoko, what's this?
Mion lifted up her chopsticks. Between them was a piece of green stuff wrapped in bacon.
But that's...
Mion made eye contact with me, and within 0.3 seconds, I had Rika-chan's mouth covered. Holding a piece of bacon-wrapped asparagus and giving her two choices, she's pretty terrible.
The yellow one is cauliflower. No, wait. The green one is cauliflower.
So, which,
Probably yellow one is broccoli and the blue one is cauliflower, but the green one is,
Do you really know which is which? How about you just give up? I'd expected no less from the class representative, the oldest. The way she drives people into a corner just shows how much experience she has. This is just a hunch, but being brought into the Sonozaki household must be quite the ordeal.
I do know! I really do!
Then answer the question.
I know! I know!
She finally broke down and started crying. When she acts like this, she actually starts to seem her age. Reina entered a state of euphoria. Sotoko bawled her eyes out. Who thinks that crying girls is adorable? Reina was in a state of bliss as she rubbed her cheek against Sotoko's head and smothered her. Really, a very content face. One that wouldn't care if the world ended right then. It was that kind of smile. Holy crap, the plot is thick. This is taking forever to get to, be through normal day of school.
Hannah, Mimi is picking on me. Cute. It's okay. Rena Oni-chan will take care of all those bad people who tease my little sister.
Oh crap. Fish boom ba. It was like a flash of lightning. What was that just now? Both of Reina's fish shot out supersonic speed, striking Mion and me squarely in our faces. Before we knew it, Mion and I were sprawled, spread eagle on the floor, staring up the ceiling with matching welts on our face. This is the first time you've gotten one, right? Today, she went easy on us. Easy? You mean there's something harder than this? With that, Mion and I both slumped heads back onto the floor in unison. From now on, I'll be careful when I'm within striking distance of Reina.
Satoko-chan. I took care of them.
I want to take you home. I just imagine that's the way she sounds, just like through the gritted teeth. Making sure Reina couldn't see it, Satoko stuck her tongue out at us. Damn it all, using Reina like a puppet. Rika-chan massaged our bruises without saying a word. Lunch is over. Oh, school is over. No matter what the day had held, the last school bell always came too soon. Our shadow stretched off into the distance.
Hey, Keiji-kun, tomorrow, do you have plans or anything? Anything?
Huh? It was such a direct question from Reina, I inadvertently blushed. If it was for a date, then wouldn't you do it more subtly? Reina saw me lost for words and realized I'd misunderstood and turned red as well.
No, I didn't mean it like that, you see.
So apparently that wasn't what she meant. But since it's always fun when Reina's in a panic, I went along with it a little. Oh, really? So it wasn't meant that way.
Huh?
Playing it up, I slumped my shoulders, feigning dejection.
Keiichika, why are you so disappointed? Why? Mi-chan!
Unable to hold it any longer, Mion slapped me on the back. I see, this old geezer never knew you could push your buttons like that. Huh?
What is it?
Mion was rolling on the floor, clutching her stomach while Reina flayed around, completely bewildered. Oh man, Mion, you just fucking ruined it. I couldn't help but start laughing as well, feeling just a bit guilty. I ruffled Reina's hair. Kidding, sorry, it was a joke. That was my fault. She really is a cute one.
Huh? A joke? Since when?
About halfway through?
Halfway? So, Keiichi-chan, that means you weren't acting when you blushed at the start?
Huh? That means... It was only a momentary lapse, but there was no way Mion would let such a delectable detail slip by her. Well, you see, saying anything more was also a bad idea. In my bewildered state, I slipped further into an unfavorable position. After that, Mion continued to tease me about it for a while. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. We'll find out why Reina was asking next time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm hoping we're gonna get more into the plot of this a little bit sooner. It's a really slow build up, so I'm hoping you guys are enjoying it anyways. And sorry if my voices slip a little bit every so often. I'm struggling a bit to keep track of who's speaking at any given time. Alright. Bye. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Don't fall for it, Reina! Stand strong!
Oh!